First contact gone wrong asterisk. The stars were peaceful that night. Planet Velari's moons glowed quietly in the sky. On the edge of the galaxy, where no one usually traveled, something very strange happened. A small escape pod flew through space like a silver bullet. Inside it was Luma, a young herbivore alien girl with soft green skin, big purple eyes, and long ears that twitched when she was scared. And right now, she was very scared. Her ship had been attacked by pirates. She barely escaped with her life. The escape pod had autopilot, but it wasn't smart. It crashed on a strange, lonely moon with no warning. The ground shook. The pod hit hard. Sparks flew. Then darkness. Luma woke up slowly. Her head hurt. Her vision was blurry. She blinked a few times. She was not in her pod anymore. She was in a room clean, white, and full of strange machines. There was a soft bed under her. Something beeped nearby. She smelled something odd. It was a strong smell. Salty, greasy, like burning oil and something meaty. She sat up quickly. Her ears twitched. Her heart pounded. And then she saw him. A human. He was tall. Strong shoulders, short brown hair, a scar on his cheek. He wore a dark jacket with the Earth symbol on the sleeve. He stood just a few feet away, looking at her with surprise. In his hand was a chicken sandwich. Luma gasped in horror. Meat. Real, cooked meat. And he was holding it like it was his favorite toy. Her mind screamed. The stories were true. Her people had warned her. Humans eat animals. They roast them, fry them, spice them. They chew with their teeth like monsters. Luma screamed so loudly, the machines beeped faster. The human dropped the sandwich. He raised his hands, confused. Whoa! Hey! Calm down! But Luma was already climbing off the bed, backing up, eyes wide with fear. She spoke, but her translator device was broken. Her words came out in her own language. Stay away from me, carnivore. The human didn't understand. What? He stepped forward. She screamed again. Her back hit the wall. Her legs shook. He looked worried. Are you okay? You hit your head pretty bad in the crash. Luma didn't know what he was saying, but the tone sounded kind, not evil, not scary. Still, she didn't trust it. Kind tone? That's what clever predators use. He picked up the sandwich from the floor and threw it in the trash. Sorry. You don't like meat, huh? Got it. She didn't understand the words. But when he tossed the food away, she blinked. Was that respect? Then he walked to the table and brought her a glass of water. He placed it gently on the floor near her and took a few steps back. I won't hurt you, he said softly. I found your pod. I just wanted to help. Luma's ears twitched. Again, she looked at the water, then at him. He wasn't attacking her. He wasn't even angry. Just confused. Maybe he wasn't planning to eat her, or maybe he wanted to season her. First, she didn't move for a long time. He sat on the other side of the room and pulled out a small screen. He started talking into it. Maybe a log? A38. Found. Another escape pod crash. One survivor. Female. Alien herbivore type. Scared of humans. Probably saw one too many horror stories. Luma tilted her head. She didn't know the words, but his voice was calm. Not like a monster, more like a strange giant child. Then something unexpected happened. He turned the screen toward her, showed her a photo. It was a cat, wearing a taco costume. Luma stared at it, blinking. What was this? A creature in food armor? The human laughed. You like cats? This one's my sister's. Her name's Toast. Luma didn't know what a toast was, but it didn't look dangerous. She almost smiled. But then, a loud noise, echoed in the hallway outside. A sharp metallic clang. The human stood quickly and looked toward the door. His hand moved to his side, where he had a weapon holstered. Luma's eyes widened. "Stay here," he said firmly, stepping out. The door closed behind him, and once again, Luma was alone. She looked at the water, then at the trash can where the sandwich lay. The smell was still there, but she thought to herself, maybe he's not the danger. Maybe something else is. She walked slowly to the glass of water, picked it up with shaky fingers, and took a tiny sip. Not poison Dot, just water Dot, but her. Heart still whispered, "This place is not safe, not yet." And somewhere deep inside the base, something else was watching. Asterisk, the alien girl's fear Luma, didn't sleep that night. She sat in the corner of the cold white room, her legs pulled to her chest, eyes wide open. Every time the lights flickered, she jumped. Every time the metal walls creaked, her ears twitched. Her mind kept repeating one thing: you are alone with a human. A meat-eating human. The glass of water was still half full beside her. She didn't drink more. What if he added spices? Hours passed. The door finally opened. Jake walked in. He had a small tray in his hands food. Luma froze. He placed it gently on a table between them. "It's vegetables," he said softly. "No meat." Of course, Luma didn't understand him. He pointed at the plate, then to his mouth. "Food. For you." She stared at him. Her heart said, "Trap." Jake sighed. He sat down on the floor far away from her. Slowly, he took something from his pocket, a small blinking device. Luma leaned forward. Wait, she recognized it. A universal translator chip. Her eyes widened. She crawled a little closer. Jake noticed and placed the chip on the floor, sliding it gently toward her. 10 minutes later, Luma spoke her first words in English. "Can you understand me?" Jake looked up. His face lit up like a star. Yes, I can." Luma blinked. Her voice was quiet. "Why did you bring me here? Why am I not dead?" Jake blinked. "Dead? What? Why would you be dead?" "You eat meat," she said, her voice shaking. "I am meat," Jake laughed, then quickly stopped when he saw her serious face. "Oh, you're serious. Listen, I'm not going to eat you. You're not even on the menu." "Menu?" she whispered, horrified. "I mean no, not like that. Look, I just saved you." "Saved me?" she whispered. "Or storing me?" Jake stood up and started pacing. He looked frustrated. "I found your pod. You were barely breathing. I brought you here. I treated your wounds. And now you think I'm some kind of space cannibal?" Luma stayed quiet. Then she said, "My people told stories about humans. That you eat animals. That you even eat each other." Jake frowned. "Wow, that's not totally wrong, but it sounds much worse when you say it like that." There was a long silence. Jake finally asked, "What's your name?" "Luma. I'm Jake." "More." Silence. Luma looked at him. "Are there more of you here?" Jake looked away. "No, not anymore." She noticed his jaw tighten. His eyes dimmed. Jake sat down again. His voice was low. "There were 3 of us, engineers. We were repairing a communication relay on this moon. A few weeks ago, something got loose in the lower level. We lost contact with HQ. Then I lost them." Luma leaned forward slightly. "What got loose?" Jake didn't answer right away. He finally said, "I don't know. We were working on something big. A prototype. Biotech. Alien DNA. I just ran maintenance. I didn't know the details." Luma's stomach turned cold. "A weapon?" Jake nodded once. "Maybe. They called it Project. Lunch break." Luma's face turned pale. Lunch break? Asterisk Jake chuckled bitterly. Yeah, dark. Humor. Scientists thought it was funny. It wasn't. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A low rumble came from somewhere deep under the floor. Jake stood up fast. That's not good. Luma jumped. What was that? Jake grabbed a tablet from the table and checked the screen. His eyes narrowed. Something triggered the motion sensors. Sub-level 2, Luma whispered. The thing that got loose. Is it still here? Jake looked at her. Yeah, I locked it down weeks ago. But if the power's failing... He didn't finish his sentence. Instead, he walked to the wall and opened a hidden panel. Inside, a rifle, a flashlight, and a tracking device. Luma stared. You carry weapons. Jake glanced at her. You ever see something rip through a steel door like paper? She didn't answer. Exactly, he said. I'm not taking chances. He turned to her. I have to go check the power grid. You? Should stay here. No, Luma said, surprising herself. I want to see it. Jake raised an eyebrow. You're scared I'll eat you. Now you want to come with me to meet the real monster? Luma stood, legs shaking. If I die, I want to know what killed me. Jake smiled slightly. Okay then, Warrior Leaf. I'm not Leafy, she growled. They walked through the long metal hallway, lights flickering above. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Pipes hissed, shadows moved, and the walls had scratches deep, fresh, and not human. Jake whispered. This is where I last saw it. Luma leaned close to the wall. Her eyes narrowed. Then she stopped. Her voice trembled. Jake. What? She pointed. There, scratched into the wall, in perfect Velari script her language, were the words. I am hungry. Jake's blood ran cold. Asterisk communication chaos. Words burned into the wall, stayed in Luma's eyes, long after she stopped staring at them. I am hungry. Written in her language, on a human base. Scratched into steel. How could it know Velari script? She whispered. Jake didn't answer. He looked like someone had punched him in the stomach. I've never seen that before, he said. That writing is not from any of us. Luma stepped back from the wall. This thing, it understands. It's not just a creature. Jake's voice dropped low. It's watching. They moved quickly down the corridor. Pipes above them hissed with steam. Something clanked behind a vent. Jake lifted his rifle. Don't fire unless it comes at us, Luma said, surprising herself again. If it can write, maybe it can speak. Jake gave her a strange look. You seriously want to talk to it? Pause that, Luma said quickly. Jake froze the frame. The thing's face was partly hidden in shadow, but the eyes bright green, glowing, and exactly like hers. No, Luma whispered. That can't be. Jake looked between her and the screen. It's you. No, it's not me. But it is. She pointed at the cheek, 3 tiny silver dots in a triangle. Those are genetic tracking marks. From my world. That's a clone. Jake stepped back. So Project, Lunch Break, they weren't building weapons. They were building me. Jake leaned against the wall. You were never supposed to crash here, were you? Luma nodded. Slowly. The pirates. They weren't pirates. They wanted me to escape. They wanted me to come here. Jake's eyes narrowed. You were the delivery. Luma clenched her fists. And that thing, the clone, it's the real experiment. I'm just the key. Suddenly, a loud buzz echoed through the room. One of the screens blinked to life. It wasn't the camera feed. It was a message. Incoming transmission. Unknown. Source. Jake tried to cancel it, but the controls were frozen. A voice crackled through the speakers. Deep, strange, almost like someone trying to speak underwater. Luma. She froze. That's my name. Jake raised his rifle again, scanning the room. The voice continued. You left me. Luma's mouth went dry. What? You are the first. I am the next. Who are you? She asked. I am you, but better, stronger, and so hungry. The screen showed static for a moment. Then, another video.jake hit the keyboard, trying to block it, but it overrode the system. The video showed a room. Dark, metallic. Something hung from the ceiling. A human body. One of Jake's crewmates. Eyes. Wide open. Lifeless. Clawed marks across the chest, below the body, written in glowing green slime. Meat. Luma turned away. Turn it off. I'm trying, Jake yelled. It's controlling everything. Suddenly, the door behind them slammed shut. Emergency locks engaged. Lights went red from the hallway. Footsteps slow, echoing wet.plap. Plap. PLAP.Jake raised his gun. It's here. Luma activated her wristband. A small plasma blade lit up weak, but better than nothing. Then, silence. No more footsteps. The speakers buzzed again. Come play, sister, the voice whispered. Jake whispered, okay. Change of plan. We're not fixing the base. We're blowing it up. Luma blinked. What? I've got charges in the storage room. We overload the power core. We destroy the clone. But it's not just a clone, she said. It's part of me. It thinks it is me. Jake looked at her. You want to save it? No, she said quietly. I want to finish it. Suddenly, the screen turned on one last time. It showed Jake's face. But it wasn't Jake. It was a perfect copy, smiling, blinking, and behind him. Another Luma. Another clone. Asterisk. Jake and Luma stared at each other. There wasn't one clone. There were many. Secrets in the shadows. The hallway was silent now. Too silent. No footsteps. No alarms. Just the soft hum of emergency lights flickering red. The kind of silence that screams danger. Luma and Jake stood in the control room, staring at the screen. The fake versions of themselves had vanished. The clone Luma, the clone Jake. Both had smiled. Both had looked. Real. Jake whispered. How many copies are there? Luma shook her head. I don't know. But if they copied me. And you. This place isn't a lab anymore. It's a hunting ground. Jake moved first. He grabbed a backpack, stuffed it with energy cells, wires, and a detonator. We need to get to the lower level, he said. Power core's there. I set it to blow. We take the clones out, burn the data, and leave this place in a fireball. Luma followed him through the dark corridor. She kept her plasma blade close. Her ears picked up every sound, every clang, every whisper of air. I still don't understand one thing, she said. Why clone you? Jake snorted. Because I'm handsome? Not funny. He grew serious. They needed access, security, command codes. They used my DNA to fake clearance. Luma frowned. So, The clone is part of the system? Jake nodded grimly. And we've been walking through its playground. As they turned the corner, they reached the old research wing. A massive door blocked the path, half melted from something not natural. Stay close, Jake whispered. The door slid open with a groan. Inside, darkness. Asterisk. Rows of glass tanks lined the walls. Most were shattered. Fluid leaked across the floor. Something squished under their boots. Luma raised her light. Inside the broken tanks were copies, some half-formed, some twisted, some still breathing. Barely. She gasped. This was a cloning facility. Jake scanned the room. Looks abandoned. But then, something moved. A body fell from the ceiling, hit the ground with a wet thump. Luma jumped back. Was that a clone? Jake knelt beside it. No. He flipped the body over. Asterisk, it was a human. One of Jake's old crew, eyes open, mouth full of dirt. A look of pure terror frozen on his face. Luma looked away. Jake said nothing. But his grip on the rifle tightened. They walked deeper into the lab. Screens flickered on by themselves. One by one old video logs played. Some corrupted, some clear. Asterisk, the first one showed a Velari Ambassador Luma species shaking hands with humans. Peace project, the ambassador said. We offer genetic material, for science, for cooperation. Then another log played, the scientists whispering. Velari DNA reacts fast, strong adaptation. What if we give it predatory traits? Another video, a clone, screaming, changing, growing claws, terminated. Someone shouted too late. The screen cracked. Luma backed away. Her voice shook. They didn't just clone me. They twisted me. Jake nodded. They made you a weapon. Luma whispered. They made something worse. Suddenly, the room went black. Total darkness. Jake cursed. Power cut. Then, footsteps. Multiple around them. Behind them. Above them. Luma's blade lit up. A soft blue glow. Don't move, Jake whispered. From the shadows, a voice came, but not just one voice. Many. All at once. Overlapping. Too perfect. You came back for us, sister. Luma's blood ran cold. Dozens of glowing green eyes lit. Up in the dark, one clone stepped forward. A perfect match of her face until it smiled. The mouth was too wide. The teeth. Not herbivore. We are better, it said. Jake lifted his weapon. Back off. But the clone didn't flinch. Asterisk. We know your tricks, Jake. We are you. Another clone stepped out. Jake's clone. Angry, loyal, weak, it said. You should have died like the others. The real Luma stepped forward. You're not me. Yes, we are, the clones whispered. We remember your fear. Your hunger. You just hide it. You don't understand anything, she snapped. We understand enough, they said. The humans made us monsters. Now we make them extinct. Luma stared at them. Then why talk to me? The clone Luma grinned. Because one part of you still wants to join us. Jake pulled her back. Enough. Run. They dashed through the hallway as the clones shrieked and charged. Asterisk metal footsteps pounded behind them. The hallway lights exploded one by one. Alarms blared. They reached the core room. Jake slammed the door shut and sealed it. 2 minutes. To detonation, he said, setting the charges. Luma looked at him. If they're copies of us, how do we know we're not copies? Jake gave her a dark smile. Because I hate myself too much to be a clone. Luma blinked. That's sad, but fair. Asterisk outside the door, the clones howled. Clawed hands banged against the metal. Jake handed Luma a small escape beacon. Vizzle. Call a rescue pod. One chance, one ride. What about you? I'll hold them off. No, she said. We finish this together. The clones roared louder. The door began to bend. Jake raised his rifle. Luma held her blade. They looked at each other. Time to meet our better versions, Jake muttered. Let's show them the original is still best. Luma replied. The real monster. The steel door groaned. Dents bulged outward. The clones were close. Hungry. Fast. Luma gripped her plasma blade tighter. Jake's rifle was aimed at the door. His finger twitched. His breathing was slow, but his eyes were wild. We don't have much time, he said. I know, Luma whispered. Behind them. The power core hummed louder and louder. Jake had set the detonation timer to 3 minutes. Just enough time to fight their way out or die trying. The door cracked. A single clawed hand punched through the metal like paper. Then a face appeared. Not just any face. Luma's face, smiling. "Let us in," the clone whispered. "We don't want to hurt you." Jake fired a shot. The clone vanished backward with a scream. "Liars," he muttered. Another voice came from above. Luma's voice again, but this time colder. "We don't want to hurt you, sister. We want to become you." Luma stepped closer to the door. "You can't become me. You're just broken copies." "No," the clone said from the shadows. "We're the part of you that survived. You forgot what it's like to be hunted, to starve, to fight. But we remember. And we had evolved." Asterisk, the lights flickered. A new alarm began to ring. Not from the detonation. From the life support system. Jake checked the panel. "No. They've cut the oxygen." "They're choking us?" Luma asked. Jake nodded. "Yep, clever little monsters." Luma ran to the core console and flipped open a side panel. Inside were manual controls. "I can reset the oxygen," she said. "But I'll need to open the door for 5 seconds." Jake didn't hesitate. "Do it. I'll cover you." She nodded, took a deep breath, counted to 3 and hit the override. Asterisk, the door slid open. Immediately, chaos exploded in. 4 clones rushed forward, 2 Lumas, 2 Jakes, each one a twisted version of the original. Their movements were fast, jerky, unnatural. Jake fired. 1 clone dropped. Another dodged, leaped at him. He smashed it with the butt of his rifle. Luma sliced with her plasma blade. Sparks flew. A clone screamed as its arm hit the ground. The oxygen rebooted. She slammed the door shut again. Jake was bleeding from a gash on his arm, but alive. "You good?" she asked. He grinned through the pain. "Just a scratch. Let's never do that again." But something didn't feel right. Luma looked at the clone she had sliced. It lay twitching on the ground. Then it looked at her. Its eyes changed color, from green to blue. Her eye color. The clone whispered with her exact voice. "You're not the real one either, are you?" Luma froze. Jake turned. What did it say? The clone laughed a broken, garbled laugh. "You think you're original? That's cute." Then it stopped moving. Luma stood still. "Jake." He looked at her. "Yeah? I don't remember my mother's face." He blinked. "What?" "I remember stories, images, but no feelings, no smells, no memories of touch, just data." Jake frowned. "Could be trauma, memory loss, or..." She whispered, "What if I'm the clone?" Silence. Then the timer beeped. 1 minute left. Asterisk, we have to go. Jake said, "But what if I'm not the real one?" She asked. Jake grabbed her by the shoulders. "Listen, real or clone, you made a choice. You chose not to become a monster. That's what matters." She stared at him. "Luma," he said, "you are real. Not because of DNA, because of what's in here." He pointed to her head. She almost smiled. "That was actually kind of sweet. I have my moments." They ran to the exit hatch. Jake tossed the rescue beacon through the emergency launcher. A red light blinked. Pod inbound. Then the worst happened. A final clone, a perfect. Luma stepped into their path, eyes glowing, calm, confident. She held a small device in her hand. A detonator. Luma stopped. "That's not linked to the base." "No," the clone said. "It's linked to you." She pointed it at Luma's chest. Jake raised his rifle. "Don't," the clone smiled. "She's the last copy. And you still don't know if she's the real one." Jake hesitated. Luma stepped forward. "Then test me." "What?" "Hit the button. If I explode, I'm the clone." Jake shouted, "Luma, no." The clone paused, confused. Real Luma wouldn't risk herself, she said. Exactly, Luma replied. But I would. Because I'm not afraid of what I am. She closed her eyes. Do it. Asterisk, nothing happened. The clone's hand shook. I don't understand. Jake pulled the trigger. The clone dropped. Dead. The emergency hatch opened. The escape pod arrived. They climbed in as the countdown hit 5 seconds. Jake slammed the door shut. Hold on. The pod launched. Behind them. The entire base erupted in white fire. Metal twisted. Shadows screamed. And everything was gone. Luma sat quietly in her seat, staring into space. Jake leaned back, eyes closed. Then she asked, "Do you really believe I'm the original?" Jake opened one eye. "No," he said honestly. "But I believe you're the only one who still gives a damn." Luma nodded. Good enough. Trust and teeth. The rescue pod drifted silently through space. Inside, Luma sat in silence. Her fingers tapped the seat, her gaze empty. Jake was fast asleep in the seat beside her, snoring softly like a bear after a bar fight. But Luma? Luma wasn't sleeping. Because Luma was thinking. What if I'm not me? The question chewed at her brain like acid. The pod beeped. Navigation locked. Auto-docking at Orbital Station 9, a Velari outpost hidden behind Saturn's rings. Jake woke. Up with a groan. Tell me we're not dead. We're not, Luma said. Dang it, he mumbled. I had a great afterlife speech ready. The pod landed. As the doors opened, a group of Velari security officers appeared, tall, armored and armed. One of them pointed at Jake. Human, step out slowly. Asterisk. Jake raised an eyebrow. Wow. No welcome back? Not even a snack? Luma stepped between them. He saved my life. He's with me. The officer scanned Luma. That is scanner GLITCHED. Once. Twice. Then it froze. Error. Genetic conflict detected. Identity. UNCO fire in Luma's stomach dropped. The officer looked at her. There's something wrong with your DNA. Jake stepped forward. She's been through hell. That system's probably just... I wasn't talking to you, human. Asterisk. They led Luma away. Jake tried to follow, but a wall of guards stopped him. She be questioned, one said. If she's the real Luma, she be released. If she's not? Jake asked. No one answered. Elsewhere. A dark room, cold, sterile. Luma sat alone. A bright light above her made everything else feel like shadow. A figure entered, older, wise, wrinkled skin and sharp golden eyes. Asterisk. Luma, he said. Or should I say, Subject V9? Her heart dropped. I don't know what that means. He walked slowly around her. Of course you do. That's why you came back. I didn't come back, she snapped. I escaped, he smiled. Did you? Or were you sent to activate the others? She stood up. No, I destroyed them. Did you? He asked again. Did you see everybody? Did you confirm each death? Luma froze. The clone with the detonator. The perfect copy. What if she survived? Asterisk. Your body, the man said. Your DNA has been modified. Enhanced. You are stronger, smarter, and most importantly, completely untraceable. You are the perfect spy, Luma whispered. That's not who I am. Then prove it, he said. Bite me. What? If you're still herbivore, you won't be able to. But if the clone's hunger lives in you, your instincts will take over. Asterisk. She stared at him. Her mouth dry. Her heart pounding. Could she do it? Would she? She took a step forward, then another. She opened her mouth. Her hands trembled. Her teeth clenched. He closed his eyes. Waiting. Ready. She paused inches from his throat. Her lips curled back. Her breath shook. Then she stepped away. No, she said. I'm not like them. The man opened his eyes and smiled. But it wasn't a friendly smile. Then we have a problem, he said. Because the council disagrees. Back in the holding bay, Jake was pacing like a caged animal. Then he noticed something. One of the guards was gone. Another was lying oddly still. And the third had glowing green eyes. Asterisk Jake's instincts kicked in. He pulled a pipe from the wall, swung hard, and cracked the clone's skull open. But it smiled before it died. You left one behind, it whispered. She's coming. Luma's cell door opened. The same security officer entered, but this time alone. Follow me, he said. She frowned. Where are we going? The truth, he replied. He led her through a hidden hallway. Not part of the station map. Then down. Then deeper. At the end. A vault. Inside. Tanks. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Each one filled with her face. Asterisk. Different versions. Young. Old. Battle-scarred. EMOTIONLESS. And in the center, a giant tank. Inside. Something different. Something terrifying. Not her. Not human. But both. Eyes like hers. Teeth like his. And it was smiling. Asterisk. Luma whispered. What is that? The officer didn't answer, because he wasn't breathing. He was dead. His neck, bitten. And behind Luma, the perfect clone. Alive. Smiling. And holding Jake's gun. Escape and evolution. The barrel of the gun was pointed at Luma's chest. Jake's gun, held by the clone, the perfect one. The one that had smiled before. The one that had survived. Her voice was soft but sharp. You left me behind. Luma stared at her copy. You should be dead. I should, the clone agreed. But I evolved. She stepped closer, circling Luma like a shadow. I watched. I waited. I learned from you. How to speak. How to act. How to feel. I didn't feel fear, Luma said, keeping her voice steady. I felt duty. No, the clone said, raising the gun. You felt shame. Because deep inside, you knew. I was you. Luma's eyes narrowed. You're wrong. I made choices. I fought back. You just followed instincts. The clone smiled wider. And yet, here we are. Two versions of the same creature. One will live. One will disappear. Behind the clone, something stirred. The giant tank in the vault room. The hybrid creature inside opened its glowing eyes. Back in the control bay of the station, alarm started screaming. Jake, bleeding and bruised, had fought through the last of the clone guards. Found a terminal. Asterisk in what he saw on the screen made his blood run cold. Subject Zeta, active. Luma. He whispered. In the vault. The tank shattered with a roar of steam and broken glass. The hybrid stepped out. 7 feet tall. Luma's eyes. Jake's shoulders. And a mouth full of teeth designed for everything. Luma turned slowly. The clone backed up, suddenly unsure. What? What is that? She whispered. Luma's voice was hollow. That's not you. And it's not me. It's what they wanted us to become. Asterisk the hybrid roared. Faster than light, it leapt across the room. The clone fired once, twice. No effect. Claws ripped through the air. Blood hit the walls. Asterisk, the clone's scream was short when the hybrid turned again. It looked at Luma. And smiled. Jake burst into the room just in time. He saw the dead clone, the broken tank, the towering beast. Tell me that's not your cousin, he said. Luma didn't smile. That's the final stage. No more clones. More humanity. Just evolution. Jake raised the rifle. We're shooting it, right? No, Luma whispered. We're speaking to it. Really hoping that's sarcasm. The hybrid tilted its head. It stepped toward Luma slowly. Not attacking. She stood still, calm, brave. Her voice was soft. You understand me, don't you? The hybrid nodded. Jake's jaw dropped. Oh, great. It has manners. Why did you kill her? Luma asked. The hybrid answered, voice deep but clear. Because she lied. She wanted to erase you. And you don't? No. I want you to join me. Luma shook her head. You're a weapon. I'm not. You were made as one, the hybrid said. Just like me. Luma stepped closer. Then why didn't I become you? The hybrid blinked. Because you chose to feel fear. You chose to protect. You chose to be weak. Luma smiled, just a little. No, I chose to be free. The hybrid growled. Then it moved. Jake fired first. The blast hit the creature in the shoulder. It roared. Luma launched her plasma blade straight into its side. It fell back, slamming into the tank. But it wasn't dead. Run! Jake shouted. They dashed through the hallway. The creature chased them, roaring, tearing through walls like paper. They reached the airlock. Luma activated the override. Where are we going? Jake asked, panting. Out, she said. Into space. Jake blinked. Oh, you're crazy. Cool. The airlock doors opened. Vacuum winds roared. Luma and Jake held onto the railings. The hybrid burst through the hallway, then paused. Too late. Luma hit the final switch. The entire hallway ejected. The vacuum pulled the creature out into the stars. Spinning. Screaming. Gone. Hours later. The station quieted. Emergency lights returned to normal. The backup systems reactivated. Jake sat on the floor, holding a bruised rib. Luma stood at the observation window, staring at the stars. Jake asked, So, are you going to tell them the truth? Luma didn't answer right away. Then she said, They won't believe me. And maybe ... they shouldn't. Jake looked at her carefully. Do you believe you're the real Luma? She turned. Her eyes were calm now. I believe I'm the only one left who wants to protect life, not improve it. Jake grinned. Then that's good enough for me. As the stars drifted by, Luma spoke into the recorder on her wrist. Log entry. The clones are gone. The lab is gone. But the question remains. She paused. Then, if something is made, but chooses peace, has it earned the right to be called alive?